Hello and welcome back to All the Words She Wrote. We get Hijiri to leave the house, but let's see what will happen.
I have no idea how you ever managed to pass your driving test. With luck, just, and a bit of pixie dust, of course.
Ugh. Hijiri glowers at me.
You're being far too cavalier about this. You could have killed us with your reckless driving. Could have been.
Could have been the operative word. Words.
In the end, we didn't die, and that's all that matters. The car doesn't The car doesn't even have any dents. Thank goodness for that. If you'd gotten us into an accident, I'd have your liver as a payment. Cars aren't cheap, you know, and they're most certainly not toys. I know. Do you? Do you really?
Hijiri raises an incredulous eyebrow.
I wish I could believe you, but after your shockingly poor performance on the road, I really do wonder. You stole the car not just once, which would have been bad enough, but twice. And you almost ran into a sedan. I swear I could see my life flashing before my eyes. You're going to give me PTSD. Was my driving really that bad? Yes, it was that bad. It was very, very bad. If it weren't so inconvenient, I'd be tempted to take the bus back. Sorry, Hijiri.
I smile abashedly.
It's been a while since I was behind the wheel, like I said. I must have forgotten a few things. Like how to indicate? But I think I've got the basics down now. Going back shouldn't be as bad. Well, it can't possibly be worse. Not unless you actually succeed in killing us this time. I'd never want to kill you, Hijiri. You're my favorite author of all time. You should know that. I'll take real good care of you, you'll see. Because you've done such a good job at that already.
Hijiri kicks me beneath the table. It hurts, but I don't scold her for it. I probably deserve it.
There's room for improvement, I know, but at least I got us in here without any bruises. That's something, right? That should be the bare minimum when it comes to driving. But as you have a hard time doing even that, I suppose I should be thankful.
Hijiri harums, her arms folded, and glances about our surroundings. We were able to make it to the next town over, despite Hijiri's continued complaints, and now we're sitting at the first stop on our trip, namely Petit Jardin. Hijiri asked if we could come here to eat breakfast. Apparently, she's a big fan of Petit Jardin's pancakes. I love pancakes. Petit Jardin is a popular chain, one I'm well acquainted with. There's a whole bunch of them in Tokyo. This particular Petit Jardin might be out in the sticks in this tiny diorama of a town, but it looks pretty similar to the ones I've been to before. In fact, it's almost identical. The floor is burnished wood, the couches are candy apple red, and there's posters tacked to the walls of blown up food items from the menu, hamburgers and sundaes and the like. I could be back in Kawasaki again. So it has like a French name, and Petit Jardin means little garden, but it's all like burgers? Whatever. I guess if I was feeling cynical, I'd say all these chain stores and eateries are robbing Japan's smaller towns of their unique charms, and drumming independently owned businesses out of the market. But I don't care all that much. Petit Jardin's been around since like the 1970s, and I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. Besides, I think the familiarity of it is kind of relaxing. It's not yet lunchtime, and the restaurant's pretty dead. There are a few other customers sitting at the tables, but they're sitting far enough away from us that I can't hear them. I glance out the window, my chin cupped with one hand, and survey the streets. Petit Jardin's decor might be the same old, but the town it's situated in absolutely is not. This town's more built up than the village Hijiri lives in, but that's not saying much. This place has nothing on Tokyo, or even the quieter parts of Kawasaki. There aren't any high-rise buildings as far as I can see. Even the largest department store is kept at like 3 floors, which seems pitifully small to a city dweller like myself. At least this town has a real supermarket and a bunch of clothes stores. There's a few family businesses and a few second-hand stores, but I recognize a lot of the storefronts. Most of them are chains. This town feels like a small bastion of civilization, lost amidst the forests and the mountains. I wonder how many people live around here. I haven't had a chance to look at the residential areas, but there's a few people meandering along the streets, enjoying the summer heat. Most of them seem to be teenagers on summer break, but there's a few families and young couples too. It's a pretty hot day. I chose to sit by the window so I could better take in the sights, but I'm starting to wonder whether this was a mistake. The back of my neck's sweating and my skirt is sticking to my thighs. I think about suggesting a change of seats, but... Here you go. I'm sorry for the delay. The waitress who took our order some 10 minutes prior bobs up to her table, all smiles. She's holding a tray in her hands laden with our orders. Orange juice and pancakes for Hijiri, beef and egg over rice with oolong tea for me. I know beef's a bit heavy for breakfast, but we're well past normal breakfast hours. It's like 11 and I'm hungry. Very fair. I haven't eaten since I had that tomato and egg stir fry last night, which wasn't super filling. The waitress hands us our orders, then bows. Please let me know if you need anything else. I'd be happy to help. She turns, then heads briskly to the entrance to usher in a new group of guests. All thoughts of changing tables have vanished from my mind. I stare at my food, practically salivating. It smells so good, I can't wait to dig in. Thanks for the food. I lift a piece of braised beef to my lips, then blow on it. I let it cool down for less than a second, then pop it into my mouth. Maybe I should have waited a bit longer for it to approach a more reasonable temperature, but it tastes so good I don't care that it's burning my mouth. This beef is so delicious, I could cry. Hijiri, for her part, looks transfixed by her stack of fluffy pancakes. She's not said a thing about my driving skills, or lack of, since she received them, and neither has she commented on my poor table manners. Her brown eyes are wide, and her face looks faintly flushed. I don't know if I've ever seen her look this openly excited before. Hijiri exudes this aloof aura almost 24/7, despite her short stature, which makes it very apparent she has 4 years on me. But right now, she reminds me of a middle schooler, or maybe even a little kid, eagerly unwrapping their Christmas presents. Christmas parents, okay. Their Christmas presents. I guess I can't blame her for that though. Her pancakes do look pretty good. There's 4 of them, all told, and they're perfectly round, all thick and fluffy. The pancakes are drizzled with maple syrup, which glistens in Petit Jardin's lights, and a generous pat of butter. I wonder how many calories are in those. Don't you care, it's pancakes. Don't worry, just eat them. I'd probably be better off not thinking about that. Yeah. Hey, Hijiri, aren't you going to eat those? I get wanting to admire them, but they'll get cold.
Oh, right.
Hijiri blinks as though awoken from a dream. She takes her knife and fork in hand, then saws into the topmost pancake. She brings a square of fluffy, pancakey goodness up to her lips, blows, and eats it. I watch as she chews, then swallows, her slender throat convulsing. So, what do you think? Are these pancakes worth enduring my awful driving?
That's a bit of a stretch, but...
Hijiri sets her knife and fork down, then returns my smile with a small one of her own.
They are pretty good.
Aw, shucks. Hijiri's attitude might be as surly as a hardened sailor's, but she really is cute when she smiles. Our breakfast, if it can be called that, consumed, Hijiri and I leave Petit Jardin and head to the supermarket. My hair swishes as I walk, and the heels of my sneakers thud against the ground. I have a few cuter pairs of shoes with actual heels brought over in my suitcase by Sai, but I decided to forego those for the day's trip. I'm not confident enough in my driving to risk it with heels, and hauling shopping bags full of groceries about in them isn't the best of ideas. If I was like Nina, I'd say screw it and go with the heels even if they killed me, but I'm not willing to lay my life down, or Hijiri's, on the altar of fashion. I'm not as hardcore about these kinds of things as Nina is. I think I cut a distinctly more stylish figure than Hijiri, but she's not putting up any real competition. That tracksuit of hers makes her look like she just finished up at the gym or else at the local high school's track team. It's a bit of a shame that Hijiri dresses down so much when she's so cute. I kind of want to haul her into one of the clothes stores and kit her out with a bunch of new pieces, but that might prove a more dangerous venture than driving in heels. Hijiri was defensive enough when I commented on her sleep cycle. I'd hate to think of how she'd react if I started nitpicking her clothes. She'd probably bite me. I passed the clothes store by, though not without sparing the sundresses and the shirts in the windows a wistful glance. I can't help but dress Hijiri up in my head, like a paper doll. She's pretty short, so I think long skirts are out. They'd only highlight how stubby her legs are. She'd suit shorter skirts though, like that plate mini. Or maybe shorts? Hijiri might be small in stature, but she has a nice figure. She's not as flat-chested as Astra. The things you notice. An off-the-shoulder shirt might look good on her, with a belt to cinch it in. She has a nice waistline, which would be nice to show off. I wonder what Nina would make about all this. She knows much more about fashion than me. I'd love to watch her transform Hijiri, like Cinderella's fairy godmother.
Ooh.
I pause, pulled from my musings by a storefront a few doors down from the Sephora. A cardboard cutout of Astra is on display in the window of the local Kinokuniya. Astra striking a dynamic pose, her sword in hand, her dark twin tails fluttering about her heart-shaped face. Astra's pretty cute, but she's not my favorite elf forest girl. That honor goes, of course, to Princess Luluna. Astra is a pretty prominent character in Elforest, however, and that puts her a cut above all other light novel heroines as far as I'm concerned.
Look at that, Hijiri.
I nudge Hijiri in the side, then point at the standee of Astra. It looks like Kinokuniya's busy promoting Elforest. They must be gearing up for the release of the 9th volume. Isn't that cool?
Not really, no.
Hijiri doesn't bother to turn her head, despite my prompting, and neither does she stop. She walks on ahead, her sole slapping against the asphalt. The asphalt?
What? Hey, Hijiri, wait!
I dash to catch up with her, my hair swishing as I do so. Don't you like seeing your own characters being promoted? I bet any other author would be thrilled.
Maybe they would, but I'm not any other author. And don't shout.
Hijiri does pause at this and glances at me, but I don't like the expression on her face. Her brow is furrowed and her lips are pulled into a frown. It's quite the marked change from how she was in Petit Jardin, chowing down happily on her pancakes. I was thinking Hijiri was quite cute back then, but I might have to rescind my statement if she keeps glowering like that. Her pretty face is going to waste.
I don't want people knowing who I am. I use an alias for a reason.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. I'm sorry about that. I just thought you'd be... I don't know. I scuffed the ground with the tip of my shoe. Happy, I guess, that your series is so popular? It wouldn't have such a massive display in Kinokuniya if it wasn't.
I'm only too aware. The royalties I receive every month speak volumes. Horizon takes a big chunk of my earnings, but there's always a lot left over. If Elforest's popularity did take a sudden nosedive, I'd be the first to know about it. I'd be hauled into all sorts of annoying meetings with Horizon's higher-ups. If things got really bad, the series would be axed. That's how things are done in this industry.
Huh? No way. Wouldn't you even get a chance to wrap things up?
I might be given a volume to conclude everything, but I might not. It depends.
But what about the fans? They'd be really upset.
They'd have to suck it up. At that point, the ball would be out of my court.
But you worked so hard on Elforest. It has something no other light novel has. The characters all feel so real, and all their conflicts too. Elforest's fate shouldn't be determined solely by how much money it makes. There's no way that's fair.
Life isn't.
Hijiri shrugs.
Horizon is a business first and foremost, and making money matters. The actual quality of the stories they publish is
oh god, I have trouble with this word. Negligible?
Negligible. Elforest's continued existence should attest to that. I'm speaking about hypotheticals though. Elforest would be cancelled like any other light novel series if it saw a huge drop in sales, but that hasn't happened yet. It's still doing well, unfortunately.
Hijiri clicks her tongue.
My superior wants me to keep churning out volumes for as long as it's viable. I thought I'd wrap things up by volume 3, but they had other ideas. Elforest is even more profitable than they anticipated. Oh, I'm afraid I'll be stuck writing it until I'm in my 30s.
Wow, really? That's great news! I'd feel awful if Elforest was cancelled. I could read about Itsuki's adventures all day, so long as he gets together with Lulunanyan, of course.
She's definitely the best girl.
I can't wait to read more of it, Hijiri. I'm super excited about the next volume. Volume 8 ended on such a cliffhanger. I know I probably shouldn't ask, but can you give me a few hints about what'll happen next?
Itsuki will end up reuniting with Luluna, won't he? Surely he has to. What's going on with Luz anyway? She's not really plotting a rebellion with the Arcanists, is she?
I stare at Hijiri expectantly, all smiles. But Hijiri, it seems, has already tired of this, admittedly one-sided, conversation. She turns her back on me, but not before I catch the scowl on her face.
Like I tell you anything, you're delusional. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess it's supposed to be a secret, huh? You don't have to spill the beans, but I really am curious.
It's been 7 months since Elforest's last volume came out. There's never been such a long delay between them. Volume 9 better be super juicy to make up for it, but I'm sure it will be. I have faith in you, Hijiri. I'm trying to cheer Hijiri up, but it seems like my words are having the opposite effect on her. Hijiri's fingers clench into fists. Her slender shoulders tremble. Then, very softly, she murmurs under her breath.
Don't.
What? I stare at Hijiri's back, blankly uncomprehending in the face of her fury. I can tell I've upset her, but how? I don't get it. I thought it'd make you happy if you knew about my feelings for...
I said don't.
Hijiri repeats, more forcefully this time. She spins about to face me, and when she does, I see that her expression is infuriated.
Don't tell me how you feel about Elforest. I don't want to hear it. I don't need to hear it. I'd be happier if I never had to talk about Elforest ever again.
But why?
Why do you care?
I care because I care about you. I want to get to know you better, and I absolutely don't want to upset you.
I think it's a bit too late for that.
Hijiri turns her back on me once more, her arms folded. She seems to have regained some of her composure, but her tone, when next she speaks, is glacial.
I'm going to go back to the car. I'm tired.
You can go grocery shopping if you like, or not. I really couldn't care less what you do. What? Hijiri, wait! I call after her, to little avail. Hijiri is already marching off. I observe Hijiri's marching back until she turns a corner, then vanishes from view. Then I sigh. It's such a deep sigh, it feels like my lungs have been compressed in a vice. It's clear that I've offended Hijiri, but I have no idea how. What did I do wrong? Well, you're not seeing that she probably hates the story, like she's fed up with it, or maybe she... That's a theory on my part, but maybe she wanted to write this thing differently? Or yeah, not at all. She said she wanted to wrap it up after 3 volumes, so she probably wants to write something completely else and really express her creativity, but the company doesn't let her. That doesn't sound great. And if you have to use up all your energy for something you're not really into yourself, oh well. After that episode, Hijiri doesn't deign to speak to me for the rest of the day. I go to the supermarket alone, buy all our groceries alone, then head back to the car, staggering under the weight of all my combined purchases alone. Hijiri is waiting for me when I get back to the car, sitting with her arms folded in the passenger seat, but she doesn't rise to help me put my shopping away. She remains stoic, stony-faced, and tight-lipped throughout the journey back. She doesn't even scold me when I run a red light, though she does click her tongue in irritation. I try to strike up conversation, but it's to little avail. Hijiri blanks me. She storms out of the car the moment I park up outside her extravagant home, then heads inside. By the time I can follow suit, my hands beleaguered with 4 bags full of shopping, Hijiri is nowhere in sight. She must have locked herself in her bedroom. I can imagine Hijiri curled up in her bed, still wearing that tracksuit of hers, her body stiff with anger. She's obviously upset, but why? I really don't get it. I only meant to compliment Hijiri on her writing. I'm sure any other author would be happy to receive such words of praise. But Hijiri, as she told me stiffly, isn't any other author. She's nobody but herself, which means she can only react as herself. I guess that should go without saying, but the trouble is, I don't know Hijiri all that well. I've only spent 1 day with her. If I was more familiar with her temperament, it'd be easier for me to predict her reactions, but I can't do that. I have to walk on eggshells instead, afraid that any offhand comment, no matter how innocuous, might set her off. Well, you haven't been walking on eggshells until now, have you? I mean, of course you can't know exactly what her issues are, but it's been so obvious from the start that she doesn't want to talk about Elforest, isn't it? Yeah. Oh well. What does she want from me exactly? Sad though it is to say, I think I can at least guess to the answer to that. I think she wants me to leave her alone. Yeah, seems like it. For the moment at least. A couple of weeks pass by, during which nothing of note happens. Not unless you count Hijiri hiding away in her room for almost 14 days, non-stop, as something significant. I make Hijiri meals 3 times a day and leave them outside her bedroom door as instructed. I try to strike up conversation with her during these times, but to little avail. She answers, but with stock perfunctory responses, such as or ah, or which soon make me give up. I don't think there's any point in trying to force a conversation with her. That'll only make her hate me more. Now I really am beginning to wonder, does Hijiri hate me? This thought plagues me throughout my days as I attend to my chores. I can't forget the way Hijiri looked at me the other day, outside Kinokuniya. Her brow was all furrowed, just like pinched bread dough, and her eyes were narrowed with disdain. Hate might be too strong of a descriptor to apply to an understated woman like Hijiri, but I'd be a fool to believe that she might like me after all of that. Hijiri lets me live in her home, but she won't talk to me. Not properly. It makes our living arrangement rather awkward, to say the least. Things aren't as bad as they could be, I suppose, because Hijiri almost never leaves her room. I don't have to worry about bumping into her in the hallway or in the kitchen or the garden. She keeps her distance, and I keep mine, save for regularly delivering her meals, but I think that makes matters even worse. We might argue again if we saw each other, sure, but that it also presents us with an opportunity to talk our feelings out. Face to face, we could fix this rift between us. I'm sure of it. Face to door, however, is a different matter. I can't get a read on Hijiri's expressions if she won't show them to me. Her lack of substantial replies is dispiriting, and talking to a person I can't see makes all of our interactions, if you can call them that, feel forced and unnatural. I'd almost take an argument over this continued silent treatment. At least that'd help me gauge where I stand with her. I wish Hijiri would give me a hint about what exactly I did wrong. She doesn't seriously intend to ignore me forever, does she? It makes me feel pretty rotten, like I'm worth next to nothing in her eyes. It feels like I'm not even worth her anger, nor any of her other emotions, and definitely not her attention. Hijiri doesn't make much noise up in her room. Sometimes, when my thoughts drift, I forget she's even there. Hijiri's home is a large one, and I've no shortage of jobs to do. But when I finish up for the day, I'm left feeling empty. It doesn't matter how hard I work, it's never enough to shake my lingering dissatisfaction. It's so quiet here in this tiny village, with its stagnant population in the lower hundreds. I occasionally see other people when I go to the convenience store by the station, and sometimes they stop to speak to me, but these interactions are short-lived. I'm enveloped by silence the moment I return to Hijiri's sprawling home. I'm not used to the isolation. I spent all my life, up until this point, in Kawasaki with my parents. It was noisy day and night over there, the streets full of cars and bikes and chattering gaggles of people, regardless of the hour. And this village is like the polar opposite of all that. It's unsettling. It wouldn't be so bad, I suppose, if Hijiri would at least speak to me, but she seems determined to act as though I don't exist. It's starting to wear on me. I think I must be feeling homesick. I never thought I'd miss my mother's continued nagging, but I take that over Hijiri's almost aggressive lack of communication. I'm starting to think that Saya was right when she said I should appreciate my mother more. My mother scolds because she cares. If she didn't care, she'd never speak to me at all. She'd be just like Hijiri. I pause while washing the dishes, my head bowed. That's the long and short of it, I guess. Hijiri probably doesn't hate me, but she speaks to me so little it's hard to tell. She simply doesn't care about me. Full stop. Apathy should be easier to deal with than outright hatred, but part of me thinks it's even more soul-crushing. Nobody likes feeling unwanted. I've borne this for a fortnight, but I don't know if I'm strong enough to endure much more of this. I should try to speak to Hijiri. It's unlikely I'll get a reply, but I have to try. I abandon the dirty dishes in the sink, they can wait for later, and quit the kitchen with a newfound sense of purpose. I enter the hallway, then take the stairs 2 at a time. I feel winded when I arrive at Hijiri's door, but I don't pause to get my breath back. I'm afraid if I were to do that, I'd lose all my accrued nerve. It's not like I have much of that left, The oppressive silence of this place, Hijiri's home, and the village that surrounds it, has taken all the fight out of me. I draw back my right arm, then rub my knuckles smartly against Hijiri's door. Hijiri? Hey, Hijiri, are you awake? There's something I want to talk to you about. Hijiri doesn't respond, but I hear the stirring of sheets from within her room. She must be awake, I'm sure of it. It's almost 2 now, and the sun's high in the sky. Not even Hijiri lies in this late, despite her disordered sleeping schedule. At least I don't think she does. I suppose it's always possible she woke up to eat breakfast, then curled up under the covers and resumed her unseasonal hibernation. Hijiri? I knock again, more urgently this time. I don't care whether she's asleep, half awake, or whatever. I just want to talk to her. It's ridiculous that we should live in the same house and not speak. Hijiri's not a ghost, though she might be as elusive as one, and she isn't suffering from an infectious disease despite her rigorous self-imposed quarantine. There's really no reason why she shouldn't interact with me. Don't ignore me, Hijiri. I know you're there. Can't you come out? I want to talk to you. I knock again and again, giving no quarter. My rapping grows louder as my desperation mounts, until...
All right, I'm listening. Jeez.
I hear Hijiri click her tongue through her bedroom door. She's obviously annoyed at my intrusion, but I don't care. I'm relieved to hear her speak. It feels like a small eternity since she honored me with a response longer than a single syllable. Gratitude rushes through me, thick and sweet like treacle, though I tried to suppress it. Don't be so thankful, Maya, you dummy, I chastise myself. Speaking when spoken to is just like common courtesy. Hijiri's doing the bare minimum, nothing more. This doesn't make up for the rotten way she's treated you. I know that logically, but it really has been a long time. I missed hearing her voice. I'd almost forgotten what it sounded like. Now if only she'd show me her face.
Don't you ever get tired of listening to yourself speak, Mayo?
Oh, Hijiri's still talking. I really must have nettled her to prompt a reaction like this.
You're being so loud.
Did you ever consider that I talk at just the right volume and you're far too quiet?
No.
That was quite a fast answer. Succinct, too. That's sure shown me.
So, what is it? Out with it.
I can't see Hijiri's face through the door that separates us. I don't have X-ray vision, but I bet she's scowling. She'll be wearing that oversized tracksuit of hers again, her hair tied into 2 messy buns, and I'm sure her arms will be folded. She's rather predictable.
I hope you have a legitimate reason for hammering on my door like a maniac. You know I hate being interrupted. There isn't a fire, is there?
No, it's just...
Then the issue, whatever it is, can't be that serious.
Hijiri sounds so exasperated, I can hear the eye roll implicit in her words.
If the emergency services don't need to be involved, neither do I. Now, leave me alone.
But Hijiri... I tried to entreat her, one hand clasped at my front. It's hard to communicate through a door, but I'm trying my best. It's such a nice day. I was thinking of going for a walk. Won't you come with me?
So, that's what this is about?
Hijiri sighs.
What do you think I'll say, Mayo, knowing all you know about me?
I know you'll turn me down, but...
Well, there you go. You have your answer. Enjoy your walk. You'll be doing it alone.
But I want to talk to you, Hijiri. My voice rises in both pitch and volume. I'm feeling desperate now, and my legs are trembling. We've been living together for a couple of weeks now, but we've barely spoken. It's obvious I've done something to offend you, but I don't know what that is. I'm afraid I'll never know, not if you don't come out and tell me. Can't we have a proper conversation? I'm sure we can move past this. I just want us to be...
What? Friends?
Hijiri interjects, her voice dripping with condescension. Condescension?
Don't be stupid. You and I both know that's not what this is about. You're my employee and I'm your employer. You clean the house and cook my food and I pay you for it. That is the full extent of our so-called relationship. I'm not interested in getting to know you, and I'm absolutely not interested in being your friend.
But Hijiri...
No, there are no buts. I've had enough of this conversation. Cut it out, Mayo, or I'll kick you out. I can do that. This is my house after all. You're here at my discretion, and don't you forget it.
I open my mouth, rebuttals forming on the tip of my tongue, but I can't vocalize any of them. I already know that what I have to say doesn't matter. How can Hijiri ever see eye to eye with me if she refuses to even meet me face to face? This is a lost cause. Of course, I knew that before I rapped on Hijiri's door. I'd hoped if I put enough care into expressing my feelings, she might be persuaded to consider them. I was wrong. Hijiri is every bit as stubborn, if not more, than I thought she was when we first met. It's a lovely day, I ponder while walking through the forest. The sun is high in the sky, which is powdery blue, and the birds are chirping among the branches. Beautiful though it is, however, I can't enjoy it. Not properly. It feels like there's some kind of invisible barrier between me and the outside world. The forest, for all its lofty trees and verdant greenery, might as well be a static image on a computer monitor, or a piece of footage on some dry TV documentary. Not even the warm breeze which stirs the leaves, the grass, or my hair can inject any life into my surroundings. I had intended to take a relaxing walk to cool off after my spat with Hijiri, but I've only accomplished half of what I set out to do. I've gotten the walking part down pat. I've done so much of that my feet are starting to ache. But relaxing? How can I, when I can't tear my mind away from Hijiri? I keep replaying our conversation in my head over and over, like a scratched DVD. I didn't get a chance to see Hijiri's face, but I didn't need to. Her division was blindingly obvious by her tone alone.
Cut it out, Mayo, or I'll kick you out. I can do that. This is my house after all. You're here at my discretion, and don't you forget it.
Jeez, what the hell is her problem? I kick at a nearby tree stump, which has a thick base fringed with moss and fungus. A few white-capped mushrooms are pulverized by the tip of my sneaker, but catch me carrying. Mushrooms are kind of gross anyway.
Yes, agreed.
Aren't they parasites? They sprout from dead trees and then they feast on whatever nutrients they can glean. Opportunistic little fuckers. Oh. I wonder if that's how Hijiri sees me. To her, I bet I'm nothing more than a parasite. I'd like to think I'm prettier than a mushroom. I put quite a lot of effort into my appearance, but I did kinda end up attaching myself to Hijiri at Sai's behest. Hijiri made it clear from the get-go that she didn't want me around. She said as plain as day that she had no use for a housekeeper. It was only after a bunch of cajoling on Sai's part that Hijiri eventually gave in. If it weren't for Sai's best efforts, Hijiri most likely would have shooed me away. Maybe it was wrong of me to hope we might become more than an employer and an employee. Hijiri's under no obligations to be my friend, but she could be a little nicer about it. Why has she got to be so rude? I give the tree stump another kick for good measure. I don't put too much force into it, I don't want to hurt myself, but my foot still smarts. It's with a heavy sigh I flop down on the tree trunk, one leg crossed over the other. The tree trunk's covered in leaf mold, which will probably stain my skirt, but I don't really care. It's not like there's anybody else around here to see my shame. This forest, just like the village that borders it, is totally dead. Save for the birds and a few small animals hidden away in the foliage, I'm all alone. I'll be alone when I go back to Hijiri's house too. I'll make Hijiri her dinner and I'll leave it by her door, but she won't invite me inside for a talk. When will I next see Hijiri's face? Will I ever get the opportunity? I just wanted to talk to me. That's not asking for too much, is it? I don't know. I lean back on the tree stump, my fingers flayed against its mossy surface. I don't know much about trees, but I imagine it must have been felled a while ago, perhaps by old age, or maybe a freak bout of bad weather, to get so overgrown. My fingertips are going to be green at the end of my little odyssey. Odyssey? I sigh. Maybe I'm the one being unreasonable. Am I expecting too much from Hijiri? I did end up muscling my way into her life, more or less uninvited. It's not like she ever wanted me to help her. I should have known she'd never want to be my friend, but I kept pushing her. I probably made her uncomfortable. I didn't stop to consider Hijiri's feelings when I started ranting about Elforest, so why would she consider mine? I raise my head, looking to the bower of leaves above me and the blue sky beyond it. I bring one hand to my brow, my fingers stained green with moss to blot out the sun. It's so bright, even through the leaves, I have to squint. I thought I'd hit it off with Hijiri before I came here, on account of Elforest, but now I'm really starting to reconsider. I might have read Hijiri's stories, but I don't know the first thing about her as a person. Up until a few weeks ago, I didn't know her real name. I didn't even know she was a woman. I told myself I knew her, but I didn't. Not really. We're total strangers. Hijiri doesn't owe me anything. If anything, I'm the one who owes her. She's doing me a huge favor. I shouldn't ask for more, not when she's giving me her money. I've done nothing to deserve her time. I mean, she could still at least be civil, but whatever. Laying things aloud like this helps me come to terms with matters. I've always found it easier to put my thoughts into words, especially when they get all knotty. It's easier to unpick the tangles this way. If anybody were to walk by me, they'd be pretty freaked out, seeing a woman chattering to herself on a tree stump. That's not the worst that you can come across. They'd probably think me deranged or maybe in contact with magical forest spirits. So, in other words, deranged and delusional. It'd be pretty hard work explaining myself and my predicament to a third party, but of course I've no need to worry about that. Nobody passes me on these ill-trodden paths, least of all the person I want to see. I bet Hijiri's still holed away in her room, doing whatever it is she does to pass the time. Or maybe she's writing, like actually working. I, meanwhile, am all the way out here. I always try to look on the bright side, but... Sniffling, I wipe my eyes with the back of my arm. I don't feel great, but I don't want to cry about my plight. Not out here, on my own, on a tree stump. That really would be pathetic. Later that night. Hey Mayo, it's been a while. Are you alright? Hanging in there. Why'd you ask? It's just a feeling is all. I figured you wouldn't call me for a while. You must have been busy settling into your new place. But it's already been, what, 2 weeks? Did something happen? Well... I inhale. That Nina's a smart cookie, I'll give her that. I've only just phoned her and she's already picked up on my less than stellar mood, despite the distance between us. Honestly, I'm wondering why she didn't call anyone sooner. Like, that's what I've been wondering before. I mean, it sucks to live with someone who you don't talk to at all, but you have your phone. You can call your friends or your mother if you want some of that nagging. Like, I'm sure she can do that over the phone, right? And 2 weeks only talking to... like to strangers on the street here in the village on the way to the convenience store, but actually I'm remembering a time where I also didn't talk to a lot of people, but that was a different story. So what I'm saying is she could have called her friend before. It's not like you're, even with that big of a house, you're not busy all day, whatever. She's back in Kawasaki and I'm out in the sticks, surrounded by hills and trees, but that doesn't seem to matter. Nina can read like nobody's business. She's even more thorough about it than I was with the last volume of Elf Forest. You could say that, yeah. I lie back on my futon and stare at the darkened ceiling, my cell phone clutched in my right hand. I just got out of the bath, and though I toweled myself down, my hair's still damp. It splays across my futon, all coiled up, like swirling smoke. I'm wearing my pajamas, but it's so warm I had to kick the sheets aside. The sun sunk beneath the horizon a couple of hours ago, but its heat lingers. We're in the heat of summer now. The days are stretched out as long as it's possible for them to get, like mochi. Is that why I feel so tired? Outside, beyond my closed windows, I can hear the humming of the cicadas in the undergrowth, but that's all. I can't hear any traffic on the road, nor any people passing the house, as I would back in Kawasaki. It's not even that late, but it's totally dead around here. Hijiri's house is as quiet as a grave. It's just me, the cicadas, and the phone pressed to my ear, connecting me, however tenuously, to Nina. When I strain my ears, I can catch muffled noise coming from the other end of the line. Did a car just drive up outside Nina's house? That really serves to hammer home how different our situations are. I'm way out in the woods, and I do mean that literally. Mayo? We're separated by hundreds of miles, not to mention a crapload of buildings and hills and trees, but Nina's voice reaches me regardless. Technology sure is amazing. Mayo, what's wrong? You're being so quiet. It's not like you. Sorry, I don't mean to make you worry. I smile abashedly, not that Nina can see it. I hope it gets across though. She knows me so well, I figure she should be able to pick up on it. It's just, a lot has happened these couple of weeks. I've been busy settling in, like you said. I've not lived in such a large house before. I've got tons of work to do. Has your new boss been keeping you busy? Oh, yeah. I've been making 3 meals a day every day, which is a pain, even though I like cooking. And that's on top of all the other chores. I've got to sweep the floor, wash the dishes, fold the laundry, clean the bathroom, do the dusting. I feel exhausted just thinking about all these chores, so I decide to cut the list there. If I kept going, I'd be at this all night. Etc., etc. You get the idea. Wow. Nina whistles. It sounds like you've been busy. Tell me about it. I'm not used to working this hard. I have calluses on my calluses, and my back hurts from all the sweeping. I think I finally know why my mom's always in such a bad mood, and why she kept nagging me to tidy my room. It kind of feels like my work will never end, and Hijiri doesn't help. Not that she's supposed to, I guess. She hired me so I could help her, but I didn't realize I'd have so much to do. Hijiri? I hear Nina quirk an eyebrow. Her confusion is palpable in her voice. I thought you were working for Tsuchimirui? What? Oh, yeah. Shoot, I didn't mean to give that away. I wanted to keep Hijiri's real identity a secret, but it just came out in the midst of all my belly aching. Why do I have such a big mouth? I'm so stupid. Can you just forget I said that? Pretty please? Why? Is it supposed to be a secret? Yeah, Hijiri, or maybe I should say Rui, doesn't want too much info being leaked about her. I mean his private life. So, she's a woman. I never would have figured. I was certain Elfast was written by a creepy guy. Same here, minus the creepy part. I was really surprised when I found out about it. I don't know much about Elfast, so maybe I'm talking out of my ass, but that's the impression it gives off, you know? I've seen that girl you like so much, Lunara or whatever. Her name is Luluna, not Lunara, and it's definitely not whatever. Sure, I've seen Lunara. Sigh. Is Nina doing this to spite me? I know Luluna's name is uncommon, it's definitely not Japanese, but it shouldn't be that hard to remember. How many times do I need to remind her? And she doesn't look like the kind of a character a woman would come up with. I mean, have you seen the size of her boobs?
Of course I have. Luluna's large chest is one of her charm points.
I don't know. I don't really get the appeal myself. It seems so exaggerated. Did she get plastic surgery or something?
No way! Don't be so crass, Nina. Luluna isn't that kind of girl. She's all natural.
Not that there's anything wrong with plastic surgery, as long as it's not something that you've been talked into or whatever, okay? I mean, she's a fictional character, but whatever. Putting her boobs to one side, her outfit is totally impractical. I don't know jack about royalty, but I don't think any princess would wear a skirt that short. Seriously, when I saw her design, I thought she was like from some pervy anime.
Elforest has a few fanservice-y moments, sure, but they're not the main focus of the series. The story is actually really good if you try and get into it.
Not that Nina will. She's not big on reading in the first place, and all of Elforest's cute illustrations of wide-eyed anime girls don't appeal to her like they do to me. I think I'll pass. Thanks. Yeah, I figured. Really though, I'm shocked. I never would have thought Elforest was written by a woman. Not that I was thinking about it all that much.
I think Kijiri prefers it that way. Don't say anything about it, okay?
As if I would. Nina snorts. Who am I gonna tell? You're like the only person I know who's into that kind of thing. None of my other friends care.
Same here.
I pout.
I wish they would. You're not giving Elforest a fair shake. I know it might seem like a generic fantasy story, but it has a lot of layers.
The arc where some of Luluna's father's scheming ministers tried to assassinate her is particularly... I begin, but my voice trails off. I don't need to see Nina's face to know her eyes are glazing over.
Anyway,
I clear my throat. Elforest's good stuff. I think it's really, really good, in fact. But if I start talking about it, I'll be here all night. I don't want to push you away too. Oh, did something happen? Kind of, I guess. I'm not really sure. I don't get it myself because Hijiri won't talk to me, but she's being kind of weird. She's a writer. Aren't they supposed to be weird? I don't know. I've not met any other writers before. Maybe? Yeah, they're totally weird. Nina repeats herself with a touch more intensity. It sounds like she's warming to her subject. We studied Mishima a bit back then, like 10th grade. I don't remember much, but he sounded like a total nutcase. If I spent all day shut up inside, tapping at words on my laptop, or worse, a typewriter, I think I'd go mad. I don't like sitting still that much either. I don't know how Hijiri does it. She spends like all of her time in her room. She almost never comes out, except to use the bathroom. At least I assume she comes out to use the bathroom. I've not seen her since the day after I first got here. What? Really? Yes, really. She won't let me into her room and she hardly ever speaks to me. I make her food, but she won't eat it downstairs. I have to leave the plates and dishes outside her door. She fetches them when I'm not there and she leaves the dirty dishes out in the hall for me to clean when she's finished with them. I feel like I'm looking after an old woman with a terminal illness. It's depressing. Damn, it's even worse than I thought. I figured she'd be strange given her profession, but this goes beyond all my expectations. She sounds like she has a few screws loose. Either that, or she just plain hates you. You didn't do anything to upset her, did you?
That's the thing, I don't know. I thought we could maybe be friends, but then...
I wince as I recall, once more, the look on Hijiri's face the last time I saw her. I've turned this image over in my mind so many times, it's practically imprinted upon the insides of my eyelids. I see Hijiri standing beneath the harsh sunlight in a rumpled tracksuit. She's glaring at me, her fingers curled into fists. It looked like she was fighting the urge to hit me.
Don't tell me how you feel about Elforest. I don't want to hear it. I don't need to hear it. I'd be happy if I never had to talk about it ever again.
That's what Hijiri said before she stormed away. I remember it word for word. I don't know what it was I said that set her off, but one thing seems pretty certain.
I think she got mad at me because I was talking about Elforest.
What? But why?
That's the part I don't get. I was being really complimentary about it. I told her I loved it and I couldn't wait for the next volume, and I was really excited to see where it was all going, and then... I don't know. She kind of exploded. Things haven't been right between us since then.
Nina ponders for a few moments. The other end of the line goes quiet, save for the faint hum of static and the rumbling of what might be a truck. I stare at my ceiling, spread listlessly across the tatami. It really is hot. I just had a bath, but I'm starting to feel sweaty again. I fan the hem of my pajamas with my free hand, trying to air myself out, when... You didn't, pressure her or anything, did you?
Pressure her?
I frown.
What do you mean?
I don't know exactly. I wasn't there, so it's hard to say, but you can get pretty intense about Elforest. I'm sure you were trying to be nice. I know how much you love the series. You, never shut up about it. But maybe Hijiri or Rui or whatever took it as a dig? For all you know, she could be having a hard time working on the next volume. If she's suffering from writer's block or whatever, the last thing she'd want to hear is, "I can't wait for the next volume to come out." Right? Yeah, I think it's something like this. I think that'd go a ways to explaining why she's been avoiding you. And if that is the case, I don't think I'd blame her.
Oh.
I exhale. I see. I digest Nina's words slowly, my fingers curled tightly about my phone. I'd not considered it like that, but now that Nina's laid it out, I think she has a point. My gushing about Elforest must have made Hijiri uncomfortable. I didn't intend for that to happen, not at all, but maybe the end results matter more than intentions do. The fact of the matter is, I upset Hijiri. This is all on me. Oh, jeez, I can't believe I didn't figure that out by myself. I'm such a dummy. Well, I don't know if that's how Hijiri really feels. I'm just spitballing. It'd be easier if she came out and told you, so you didn't have to play guessing games. You might have made her uncomfortable, but I don't know if she's handling it in the most mature way. Then I guess we're both to blame? That's usually how it goes, yeah.
That makes me feel a bit better, I guess.
but it doesn't really solve our problems. I wonder what I should do. I pause for a few moments, pondering, but my train of thought is soon interrupted by a tiny buzz. My phone is beeping.
Wait a sec, I just got an email.
Sure, this is good timing actually. I was just about to have a bath.
Oh, right, I see.
Do you want me to hang up? Maybe you should, yeah. You can call me tomorrow. I've gotta be up early and it's getting kinda late.
I guess it is, huh? Thanks for listening to me, Nina.
I'm sorry for venting at you for like 20 minutes.
I hope it wasn't too much of pain.
It's fine. It was nice hearing from you, actually. I was afraid you might have been, like, dismembered or something.
Why is that the first thing your mind jumped to?
I don't know. I can hear the shrug in Nina's response. You live in the countryside now, right? Anything could happen. Loads of horror movies are set out there. It's like super remote.
It's too remote for any murders. Barely anybody lives out here.
There might be a real shortage of living people where you are, sure. But what about dead people? They must outnumber you 2, or maybe 3 to 1.
I'm sure I'll be fine. I don't believe in ghosts, and even if I did, Barney's in the cupboard. He'll keep me safe.
Barney?
It's a long story. I'll tell you later.
No fair. You've gotten me interested. But my hair isn't gonna wash itself. I can't show up at beauty school looking like I've been dragged through a hedge. Night.
Night.
I say goodbye to Nina, then hang up. The silence that rushes to meet me is immense, alleviated only by the humming cicadas, but I feel less lonely than I did before I called. Talking to Nina always cheers me up. Smiling, I sit up, then check my emails. Okay, just for a moment. She's been living here for 2 weeks. And not only has she not called her friends, but she's not texted any of them? I thought she was supposed to be somewhat sociable. Like if it's someone like Hijiri, you can imagine them maybe not communicating with anyone. But yeah, she's not texted anyone. She's not like... I mean, I don't text my friends every day, but I use Twitter. So like at least I would vent everything on Twitter, like minus names and such, of course, to be like protecting their privacy. But you know what I mean? Wouldn't you like vent somewhere, whether it's on social media or to a friend, and not just after 2 weeks? And that's kind of crazy. In these days at least, and it's obviously set in current day. Maybe I'm overthinking this again, but
that's just me. That's what I would do. I would vent about it on Twitter every day.
Okay. Smiling, I sit up, then check my emails. Said email, as I soon discover, is from Sai. I open it up and glance through it, my eyes scanning back and forth. It's quite a lengthy email, as Sai's correspondences often are. I sometimes wish she'd text me, like most other people, but I guess sending emails is ingrained into Sai's consciousness. It must come with being an editor. She opens the email by asking how I'm getting along, and proceeds with a few paragraphs of polite chit-chat. She rounds the email out by telling me she'll be stopping by at midday tomorrow for a meeting with Hijiri, and she promises to bring some of my stuff from my parents' house along with her. This is a comfort, if nothing else. It'll be nice to see Sai again, or any human willing to speak to me actually, and I have been feeling pretty homesick. I hope Saya can bring all my Elf Forest merch back with her. I've missed looking at Luluna's smiling face. Maybe my new room won't seem as barren as it does now, with my waifu adorning the walls? I can but hope. I mean, I guess Hichiri wouldn't love it if you put up all that stuff, but then again, I think she did say that she could do with the room what she wants. Not like she goes in there anyway. Yeah, but I think that is enough for today. We're in kind of a bad situation and can just hope that it will get a bit better. At least when Sai is coming over, I think we'll have a chance to see Hichiri again, like face to face and not just through a door. But we'll see about that next time. Until then, bye bye!